Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. Glad to have you on this Monday morning. I'm Winston Chester, and we're bringing you America's only daily outdoor television show, and we're proud to do it. We've got some great group of sponsors, got a great thing going here. So we keep it going and work hard every day and try to bring you the very best in outdoor news and tips and all on how you can enjoy the outdoors much better with you and your family and friends. Our weather brought to us by Haney Technical Center at the corner of Baldwin Highway 77. 89 is high. It's getting warm again, and 74 is low. Water temperature is 86. Moon phase, our Monday moon phase, we're waxing today, and got a full moon coming up in the next week, but the Sandhill Seafood is good to us about bringing that to us. The tide chart, Kent Forest Lawn, I want to make a good look at this tide chart. We're really back in this last 3 or 4 days with neat tides, but starting today and the rest of this week, good strong tides. The high tide is early in the morning now. Last week before last, the high tide was middle morning, but this week we're at early morning tides, 5:10 a.m. And low is going to be in the middle of the afternoon, about 3:59, and then it's going to be coming in again later in the afternoon. So this is a good situation if you'd like to fish your tides. Marine forecast be coming out of the east. It's been coming out of the south for now like 7 or 8 days. Coming a little bit out of the east today at about 7. Let's take our break and we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. If you recall last week, we had Daniel Cole on, and Daniel's a boat expert. You know, he bought Rick Cordy's business, and I was asking him good questions and all. And I mentioned, I saw a little video, Megan Miller Etheridge had sent a little video on the boat. She and her husband bought a boat, big old sailboat, and they planned to do some really long distance sailing and all. And they got out of the boatyard, and they had a very rude awakening. They knew what to expect, but they didn't quite think it was this bad. And I wanted to show you, this is a video that I was talking about. She had it on her Facebook page, talking about how moisture now is caught in between the fiberglass coating and the wood, and you just don't think this much moisture. This is a little series, about 3 little short videos, about 20 to 30 seconds each, and I'm going to go ahead and just run. I'll talk through them now. This is the first one here, and they have it circle, so they're going to get in there now, and it's propped up at the boatyard up at Miller Marine, and they see the moisture in there, so they get a machine and they start cutting it. You got to wear that around fiberglass, and they're cutting out a square. Okay, now you just don't know what to expect until you really get into there and you see the water start leaking out, and that's not a good sign. Wow, you start seeing all that water coming out of that one little section, so you know that's good. She said, and then you have to start peeling this off. And the purpose, you're going to start getting all this. Look at all the water pouring out of there. And you really don't know what's going on until you get into there. Okay, here's the next one. There's the next little segment. Look at that. It's drilled a hole right there, and it's pouring out of that section. So you know that wood is just saturated with the water there. And this is, like I say, up at the boatyard at Miller Marine. And it's okay. We're going to the next one. Okay, now here's a boat. Here's another section, and they're doing some work on it. But it's going to take a lot of work, but they'll do it. Now this is how big the boat is, so you can see. And we've got to sand all that out. So that's. I just wanted to show that to you. Last week I was talking about the moisture in boats, and even on the smaller boats and all. If you got that wood in it, it's just going to wick it up a lot of times when you got some kind of little. You know, they're in the water all the time. So just be aware of that. And you know, Megan, the Miller family, who comes from the Davis family, who are experts on boats, they built some wonderful quality boats, and they didn't have any idea it was going to be that bad. So I just want to show that to you and be aware of it. I was over the weekend and last night. I was thinking some cool things to show you, and I want to show you that we're going to go into some knives, some fishing knives now. And I'm like most guys in outdoors. We all got a collection of knives. In fact, I'll actually start with this one. I'm gonna start with a small one. Can y'all see this little knife right here? That's a fish, okay? I just collected that knife. It's a good single-bladed knife, but it's in the shape of a fish. I found that at an old tackle show one time. I just thought that was cool. But I don't use it, but I keep it hanging up there at my pegboard at my tackle store. which is my little corner of my garage. But anyway, but this knife here, this is a newer knife, and it's a fillet knife. And here's what's cool about it: it's got a great fillet blade, and I love the orange handle because you can always locate them. That's some of the hardest things to do, trying to find them. And it's great blade and everything. But what's cool, you can open this case is a hard case, and you can open it up, and it turns into these. Look here. You can actually skin a catfish or whatever with these pliers. It turns into a pair of pliers. Check that out. In addition, it has a file right here where you can sharpen your knife right here, okay? And then the coolest thing of all, put it back in here, and you see this little V? Can you see that little V right there? There's a little V where the blade is sticking up. So you can take your fishing line and cut your fishing line right through here. You just cut it down. So that blade of the knife is sticking up. You may not can see it, but that is a cool knife. It's called, I don't even remember, I got that at one of the tackle shows. The Fisherman's Solution is the name of it. But very ingenious, well done and everything. I just wanted to show you a knife. And I have another thing too, this is just another little knife I like. I've got a bunch of knives. I could brought a box full of them, but I like this one because of the size of it. That's really good for filleting smaller fish and everything. And of course, a nice little loop that you put it in on your belt. So make sure you got a good knife, and if you're thinking about getting a present, something for an outdoorsman, you can, a knife set is good. In fact, my nephew gave me this knife set here a little while back. I just thought it was really cool, and I'll just show you the different things it has in it. You can see the different knives and all. Got a little cutting board here, two fillet knives, scissors, and a sharpening, and the glove, and the whole set. That was a cool set, a nice little gift there as you start approaching some birthdays and anniversaries, whatever. So knives, fillet knives, and all kind of knives are really good for outdoorsmen. And one of the things about them, you got to keep them sharp. If you go to a fish cleaning, to a fish house or something, I've always fascinated those guys cleaning. You know, they'll clean a little bit, especially on the bigger fish, they'll clean a little bit, and then they're over here sharpening. They'll clean a little bit, and then over here sharpening. So that is really, really cool. So make sure your knives stay clean. Always clean them afterwards. I always wash them off really good. And I can remember my dad cleaned all his. He had a pocket knife, and I still have his old pocket knife. No telling how many fish that thing is clean. And he wouldn't spend money on anything else on that pocket knife, and that's all he needed. And he cleaned a lot of brim. But one of the things he always did, he'd always clean it really good, and he'd leave it open on the sink, on the back sink. Leave the blade open so it would dry out. He always believed it had to dry out. He'd blow on everything and leave it open overnight so it would dry out. That's just a little trick I learned from him watching him as a kid and all. So make sure you dry them off and clean them off really good after every use. So outdoorsman knives is important. All right, let's take a break and we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. Last night when I was digging through some stuff, trying to find that old knife and everything, that little fish knife, I ran across this right here, and it's a little throwback to the early years of Panhandle Outdoors. When we first started doing the fishing game times, we were very adamant, Captain Roy and I were very adamant about getting some times and sharing those with our viewers, because we both had a strong belief and still do in fishing times, and we were able to get them in different places and all. But we've got this system set up. Our very first sponsor was Chick-fil-A, and how many of y'all remember this is how we actually did our fishing times? I got a piece of metal here. I had to shop at Haney, give me a little piece of metal with paint, and then I had these little magnetic fish that we got. Gail picked them up somewhere, little magnetic fish, which they stretched out ironically about 2 hours. So I'd move the fish around. Do y'all remember that? I'd move the fish around for the fishing game times. So this is the early years of Panhandle Outdoors. That's a little nostalgic look back to those years. Jeff, you remember those years? And Chick-fil-A was our sponsor, and I'd have it off the side. Jeff would have to get that camera over there and zoom it in and focus it and all. But this was technology we've advanced some since then. But Chick-fil-A with Don Adams was our early sponsor on that, and we got a kick out of it. At that time, I had a daughter in my class, and we got her to come on the show and do it. And Donald has one of the new Chick-fil-A there at 77 and 23rd, that brand new one there. And ironically, my granddaughter Maddie works there, and but we can't wait till they put the other one back down here in the original spot over here in the shopping center on 23rd. because that's the one. That other one really nice and all, but man, it's crowded. Everybody's eating these Chick-fil-A sandwiches and everything, but it's great food, a great organization, and good kids that work there. They have a great work ethic, and there's a whole situation of Chick-fil-A. The whole organization chart is just good stuff. I've always been impressed with them. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with you. Now let's go into get back to fishing and all. One of the, like I say, over and over again, we talk about the big joys of going fishing is being able to, eat those fresh fish that you catch or that's on your boat and all that you bring in and taking home and eating. And a lot of times we don't cover enough about cleaning it. And Bobby Smith, Bobby's been on the show before. There's an amazing bass fisherman. He's called 45,000 Bass. We've talked about that, done the shows on it. Bobby's also good on catching flounder and other fish too. And this video here is how to clean a flounder. It's really fascinating how he does it and everything. It's a little 5-6 minute video on how to skin that flounder. Pay close attention, and it's really a good way to do it. And you can see how much meat's on the flounder. So Jeff, let's run this video. All right, hey folks, we're out here. We've been trying to do this for a good while now, but we're here with Matt Smith and Bobby Smith, and Bobby's going to show us how to skin a flounder. Bobby, first of all, why do we do this?
Well, I'll have to kind of show you as I go along. Is the reason I started doing this years ago, and everybody that's seen it has liked it. If they've ever eaten one of them that's been skinned, they don't want it any other way. And I've just been doing it for about 35 years now, I hope I don't mess this one up, because this is the only one we've got. Accidental catch when you're bass fishing, but if I had a box full here that I'd gig, then I could mess up and we could start over. But anyway, I'll try to do the best I can, but you got to have your right tools. This thing is probably 40 years old. This is an old fish scaler. My uncle gave it to me when I was a teenager. And I'm in my 50s, so that's about right. Anyway, you got to have something with teeth that'll get those little fine scales off of the white side. I scale the bottom side. Yeah. Other is just a set of regular catfish skinner, something you can grip the skin, pull, and then you need a fairly sharp, well, it needs to be sharp, but a fairly thin bladed, pointed knife. But the reason that I skin a flounder, let's just scale a little portion here. Now that's what most people would do with a flounder. Now you can run your fingers across that and there's no scales on it. It's smooth as it can be. But watch this. See that black slime and mud? That's what you're eating when you eat a flounder that hasn't been skinned. Yeah. So therefore, I get rid of that. First thing, of course, I turn him over and I scale the white side.
Well, they live on the bottom, so they're going to get all this on them.
Mm-hmm. But the white side doesn't have that old black mud in it like the top does. I don't know if it's mud or just fish slime or what it is. Don't pretend to be a scientist. I feel better about it, and everybody says they taste better that way. So that's the way I've always done it, and I've stood here and skinned over 100 pounds when I used to do this commercially. Yeah. And all right, we've got him scaled now, so we're just going to rinse those scales off and then turn him over, and this is where the skinning part starts. Take a knife, and I just get up on his shoulder, just above the top slot of his, where you see his gills end, get just behind that, make you a little small cut through to get started. Then take the point of the knife, slide it under there, push it out right in front of his dorsal fin there to make you a little tab that you can get a hold of with the skinners. Then you just continue cutting just under the skin, right behind the fin. Bring it all the way down to the bottom, and then do the same thing you did up here. You've got to have a little tab to get a hold of. So get the point of the knife just under the skin and bring it out right in front of the fin. Okay, then you're ready for the skinners. Catch that tab, and the important thing to remember is you cannot pull it all straight toward the tail. A flounder has a grain change in his meat, top and bottom, and if you simply pull it all toward the tail, you'll rip out 2 chunks of meat about the size of my finger all the way down the shoulder and the bottom side. What you want to do is skin from the fins toward the backbone until you pass that grain change. You can use your thumb to help you. Pull it back, just continue it on down, and pull toward the center. all the way down to the bottom of the fin. Right there is where that meat changes grain. You can see this coming straight in, these lines, and these lines are at a 45-degree angle. And this is that strip that you'll tear out if you try to pull it straight.
Okay.
All right, then we do the same thing with the bottom. We get the thumb under to help you, or use your first finger. Pull, again, pull towards the backbone, toward the center. Once you've got it to that point, then you're ready to pull it all the way off.
Go ahead.
Then you're ready to pull it off. Once you get it in like that, catch it back from the front, get you a grip. The bigger they are, the harder that skin is to pull, but peel it off like that. You've got a skinned top side on the flounder.
Best.
He'll eat much better than scaled.
Best.
Then you're ready to do the rest of the job. I just go through right behind the fin, go all the way through, come out, get rid of the head. Flounder has very few guts. Most of you know it's a good fish to eat because you get a lot of meat from a flounder. Once you get the guts, the roe sacks are in this little cavity back in behind on each side of that bone. You have to just reach in there and pull those out. And then there's some coagulated blood against the backbone. I usually just stick the knife underneath it, make a little fine cut, pull it out. And then you're ready to wash.
All right, Bobby, that's a good job. I'm gonna start doing mine that way now.
Hope everybody enjoyed that. A lot easier said than done. Takes a little practice, but the finished product is well worth it.
Man, next time we just gotta have more flounder.
Just gotta have more flounder. Wait till the summer and get a gigging trip together. We'll all go get a bunch of them.
Well, Panhandle Outdoors, Bobby Smith, Matt Smith, and we're here skinning the flounder.
There's the finished product.
Good job.
Ready for the broiler.
Okay, welcome back. Our fishing game time today brought to us by Blue Water Outriggers. We're looking at 8:06 a.m. to 10:06, and this evening 8:34 to 10:34. So be aware of that. We didn't get a chance to get up here on Friday's show with Brad, so I wanted to get up here and talk about fishing a little bit. And I really want to touch base on what I talked about last week, all the pollution and all this bad water down there in southwest Florida. And one of the things we want to make sure that we keep our northwest Florida, the Florida Panhandle, our paradise up here, clean and take care of it. And we'll be bringing some people in and all, but something we all feel very serious and very strong about. The big thing on all these base systems are the feeder creeks. The feeder creeks that feed into it. That's the lifeblood. We got a good situation here where we don't have a lot of pollution to speak of. Just be aware of that. Also, when I started looking at this as far as the fishing report, I always think about fall surf fishing is coming up. It's August now, and late September, next month, late September, you'll start doing some serious surf fishing. And one of the things I want to work on, talking about tackle talk, and I was thinking about this last night, fooling around, and I've got some long surf rods. This fall, I really want to concentrate on getting some super long surf rods. For some reason, something is inside me telling me I cast out a long way, but I want to cast out even further. I think you do that, and I know you do that by the rod itself, the eyes on it. So I'm really, and I've always sort of, been trial and error kind of guy, but I really want to do some research on it and really try to get in some long casting, and really get on past that second sandbar. I always fish a lot right on the inside edge of that second sandbar, but this fall, I want to work on getting on out there because there's going to be some really big bull reds there and some really bigger pompano in that area too. So that's one of my goals. So be thinking about your fall fishing. We're in late summer fishing right now, so we really want to concentrate on the bay areas and getting to the map over here with Google Earth. Where the flounder. One thing I noticed is the mullet are jumping a lot more. But bridge fishing, again, fishing around these pilings. All the bridges, I'm showing the Hathaway Bridge here, all the bridges here in the Panhandle had the same format as far as fish hanging around them, the sheep head hanging around them, the drum hanging around them, and they're going to eat with the tidal flow, tide coming in, tide going out. They're going to hang around those pilings. They're deep holes. All bridges have deep holes around them. So I want to encourage you. You can fish with a kayak. You can fish with a boat. Some bridges you can fish from. You can fish on the edges. Right here on the west side of the Hathaway Bridge, you've got that little boat ramp. You can. A lot of guys right here in the center of the screen, right here. I remember many years ago. I mean, a long time ago. There's guys with cast nets coming. They're up under the bridge here, and the mud that comes through here, folks. I'm gonna show y'all a secret spot. Don't tell anybody, but I'm gonna show you some. This is some really good fishing for redfish and all through this area, right through here. Okay, they come right through here, so you can fish this area for redfish. That is an excellent spot right there. And these canals on up in here, and okay. But anyway, I just want to show the bridge fishing. Come on out real quick. When the flounders start moving, it's a little early for them to start doing that, but people are already floundering. You'll flounder on a beach drive. The flounder hasn't started moving yet, but there are a lot of flounder in our base system, back up in this area, right up in here. The flounder's hanging around. So flounder fishing is good right now. Trout fishing, and I'm going to get Captain Roy in here probably next week or week after. We're going to really do a serious show on catching speckled trout, because that man has caught more speckled trout than anybody alive. I can promise you that. So when I have him in, it's always special. Pier fishing is going to be continue to be really good. Like I say, the king mackerel run is really strong now. We're going to have the video and all from the tournament and all coming up later on this week. It was great times and all, but just concentrating on what you're fishing now, whatever you're fishing for. Make sure, last week with all the rain, a lot of people started respooling and doing a lot of stuff in the garage. And I put new line on a lot of my reels because we couldn't fish last week. So it made me think, make sure, and just speaking of tackle talk, that your line is fresh. You want to change your mono about once every year or so. Your braid maybe once every 2 years at least. Now these guides change them on a regular basis. One guide I don't know, he changes almost every trip. They don't want to lose them. So anyway, run out of time. We'll have a great day today. Do something good for your fellow man. Enjoy the great outdoors, and God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.